Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Penny Kroll. I'm from Change Ahead. And today I'm really excited to be chatting with James Gardner. And James and I met a few years ago. I don't know how long. I feel I've known him forever. And I'm really honoured because this man, well, I talk about miracles, and this man is a walking miracle. And that's all I'm going to say before I pass you over to James. So, James, how are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. Thanks, Penny, for that marvellous introduction. It's really nice to be here. Yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I'm good. I hope everyone else is well too.
That's the beauty about these on-the-spot live interviews, James. So, James, you've been running a coaching company, and for what purpose did you set this up?
Well, for me, it's been like when I was 5, I was involved in a car accident that the medical profession said I probably wouldn't survive from. I was in a coma, and then they said, "Oh, he probably won't come out the coma. If he did, he's going to be like a rag doll for the rest of his life. So we're not sure if he's going to make it or not." And then they turned the life support machine off, and I didn't breathe unaided. So my parents pleaded for them to put the life support machine back on. And the doctors, they did that. And then they gave me a few more weeks. And then the D-Day came when they said, right, we're going to turn it off now. And if he doesn't breathe, then that's that. So that day came, and they turned it off, and I did start breathing unaided. So that was a miracle in itself, I suppose.
I suppose.
Yeah.
You do make me laugh. I suppose. Of course it was a miracle. You're a walking miracle.
It was a miracle, yeah. So then I had major brain damage, and I was paralyzed, completely paralyzed down my left side of my body. So they didn't think I would have a very good condition of life, like coming back out of the coma. So I've been pushed really hard by my family, which I'm really grateful for, to learn to walk and not accept defeat and not accept the life that was pre-told by someone else. And it's like you can do it, and there's no such word as can't, and like do the best you can. So growing up, that's all I've known how to do, is like not accept that I'm not going to walk, not accept that I'm not going to talk, and just get back to a normal life as I can. So yeah, I've been through lots of rehabilitation and lots of physio and everything, but no one ever helped me with what's going on up here. And I always felt, no matter how many steps I could take or how much physical activity I did, I still didn't feel right inside. So then that's when my quest began for like, what's the missing piece? Like, why I can do this now, but I still don't feel complete as a person. And then I started looking at other modalities apart from like fitness, spending hours in the gym like I do. And then I interviewed Jack Canfield when I was working for Esquire magazine in Dubai. And that really changed my life. And when my editor goes, "Could you interview Jack Canfield?" I was like, Jack Canfield. Oh, he's one of those gurus that like happy clappy type. And but I said a yes to that anyway, because I say yes to most things, even if I'm petrified. And then when I interviewed Jack helped me see things differently, and he's like America's #1 success coach and best-selling author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books. And Jack has a book on EFT, the tapping. I believe you know tapping, Penny?
Yes,
well.
I know.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so I was intrigued by this tapping and how Jack like felt the need to write a book about it, because obviously he doesn't need to make money from another book. But I was really intrigued, so I got the book, and the book came with a DVD, and I was really intrigued how tapping like on my eyebrow and under my chin. I was like, how can that help me? And yeah, I then followed leads because I'm a journalist, I'm a researcher, so I researched quite deeply, found something in it that, like when it talks about quantum biology and the field and the matrix, and I'm a big sci-fi fan, so that really resonated with me.
That's so funny that you went down that route because of a sci-fi fan.
Yeah, like it's like predestined by Star Trek. Like what the Star Trek world is, it kind of like makes sense to the quantum field and everything. So that was quite ironic.
And one of the things that I just loved about you when over the years we've been chatting, and last year, or was it this year, darling? Was it this year that you actually had a brain tumor that
Yeah.
was, well, tell us about that brain tumor.
Well,
How
it was
big was it?
a year ago that I found out on November the 18th last year. And I was actually in training to run the London Marathon at the time. So that was put in jeopardy because I was like doing training and I was up to about running 20k. And I noticed this like dagger like pressure on my head. So I was like, I'm not sure about that. I went to the doctor and I said, there's a lump on the side of my head and it's rubbing on my glasses. What is it? And she said, oh, it's probably just a cyst. Keep an eye on it. And then like 4 months later, it was still rubbing on my glasses. I went back to the doctor. This shouldn't be here really. And so she sent me for some scans and it was revealed that it was a tumour that was growing in my brain. And it started coming out the side of my head because it had eroded all my skull, and it had displaced about 70% of my brain. So it was a miracle that I was training for a marathon, to be honest, when I had this tumor growing in my head. And then in April this year, I then went to Plymouth, to Derriford Hospital, to have the tumor removed. It was actually, they said, a lot bigger than they thought, about the size of a tennis ball. And they put a titanium plate here to go where the missing skull is. And they said I'd be bedbound for 6 to 12 weeks. I probably just want to sleep for 6 weeks. And I thought, oh, that sounds really nice. But 3 days later, I was back on my feet, and I was like, the next day, I was like running along the seafront because I don't like to be told I can't do anything or expected to just lie in bed and just be comatose. I was like, that's not who I am. So,
yes.
So I was back up running and doing all sorts. And 3 weeks later, I was back in the gym, and then I think the following week I was back on the athletics track because I took up short distance sprinting as opposed to the long distance running.
Yeah. So. And so with all of these miracles in your life, who are you aiming to assist? Who would you love to assist, James?
Well, I'd really love to assist or help anyone who has been through a lot of traumas or mishaps, or someone who is who wants more out of life. They get up and they go, oh, not this again. There must be more to life than this. And I've been through those days. I know you know when, before I found EFT, I was like waking up going, oh, what's the point? And so I want to help anyone through the dark night of the soul type thing. And anyone who aspires to achieve more in life but doesn't know how to close the gap between where they are now and where they want to get to, I know what steps you need to do because I've done so many courses, trained with so many people, and read so many books and heard other people's stories. I know the right tools and how to do it and mechanics of getting through those barriers to where you want to go.
And I think what's exceptional about you, James, is as a coach, that you know that it's not just talking about things and reaching goals, that you can actually change people's memories and change people's belief systems. And
it's all about perception, yeah.
Yeah, and you are a walking picture of that.
Yeah, Bruce Lipton said, yeah, I'm a living example of his work, The Biology of Belief. Because when I wrote my book on how to heal from trauma and PTSD, a lot of that was based on the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. And he got a copy and he sent me a card and like said, oh thank you, and you're a real inspiration. And I'm really like inspired that you've taken my work and you're a living example of that. So I feel privileged that he actually said those words, that I'm like a living example of what he's been teaching. Because without like studying the work of Bruce Lipton, I wouldn't have put all the jigsaw pieces together. And that's really when the light bulb went off and I was like, oh, it's emotional trauma. It's not like a physical disability. It's not the fact that I walk with a limp or something. It's that my head is wired a bit differently because of all the trauma and stress that I'm dealing with. And then I was like, how do I deal with that? And then I discovered like meditation and hypnosis and NLP and those type of things, and then EFT, which is a godsend. And then you're able to decrease the fear response, which controls your perception of life.
Yeah, how wonderful. And your book, what is that called again? Just remind us.
It's How to Heal from Trauma and PTSD.
And how do we buy a copy of that?
It's on Amazon, yeah. It's got 5-star reviews. I've been overwhelmed with the feedback. So yeah, it's How to Heal from Trauma and PTSD, your ultimate guide to becoming the person you want to be.
That's beautiful. And your website, James, what's your website?
My website is liveyourgreatness.life.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Live Your Greatness .life. And James, just one more question. How can you invite people to reach their visions?
That's a really good question. Yeah, love these off the cuff.
I know that you summarized it yourselves, but one of the things that you just said to me before we jumped on this call was, and I loved it, when you look at the mirror, do you see the person?
Yeah, it is about when you look in the mirror, do you see the person you feel inside and you want to be? If the answer is no, then why is that? And then how do we get there? Like, can you look in the mirror and say, I love and accept myself without crying or getting angry and cracking the mirror? And it's about, I've just started working for a nutritional and well-being, other nutritional company. And I was at a conference and this lady said to me, I'm really excited about becoming the person that I want to be, that I look in the mirror and I don't see the person I want to be, but I'm excited about becoming that vision of who I want to be. So I feel I've got lots of tools and know a lot of things that can help people see who they want to see and be who they want to be.
Yeah, and this, you yourself are a walking inspiration, James. So thank you.
Thank you.
And get in touch with James, have a chat. Do you offer free consultations, darling?
I do, yeah, I do free 20-minute Skype call, so I can get to know the person, get to know where they are, and see how I can help them. And then if I can think of any other recommendations, obviously point them in the right direction as well.
Beautiful. And I love your honesty and your integrity and your inspiration, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.